Yo, what's up? It's your boy Toxic Turtle, and I'm coming to you from the Painted Lady Tattoo and Piercing Studio in Parkmore, Santon, and you're watching Permanently Painted. Welcome to Permanently Painted. I'm your boy Toxic Turtle, and today we are going to be discussing a really cool topic, something that's very close to my heart, and that is earlobe stretching, stretching your ears up, and the different various methods that you can use to stretch your ears up, as well as pros and cons of stretching your ears. So let's not take too long, let's get right into it and let's jump on it. So you want to stretch your ears. Fantastic news, that's something that I like to hear. Let's get them bad boys stretched up. We're going to start off with a standard ear piercing. Now this can be with a 1.2 needle or a 1.6 needle. Never ever with a gun. Don't get your ears pierced with a gun. If they have been pierced with a gun in the past, it is not a huge issue. However, you will just need to take a little bit more extra care and also just ensure to keep an eye on that piercing while you are stretching it up. But don't stress if you have gotten your ears pierced in the past with a gun. This is not to say that this is not going to be an option for you. It is just going to be something that you just have to be a little bit more vigilant and diligent with. There are very many various methods that you can use to stretch your ears. First things first, we're going to be talking about dead stretching. So this is a very common thought that people have on stretching their ears, is where they buy spiral jewelry. You've seen the spirals that you get, and basically they put them in and slowly they just push them through to make the ear hole bigger and bigger and bigger. There is also the option, also dead stretching method, where you're just buying bigger jewelry and shoving it in there until it kind of fits. This is a bad method. I would not suggest this. With the spirals, you tend to find that you have more of a teardrop shaped earlobe hole. And that's not necessarily what you're wanting to go for. It makes it harder to find jewelry, and also the healing process is just it's never gonna fully complete. The dead stretching as well, with using just bigger jewelry and shoving it in there, it is a fun way to get blowouts and to get tears and micro tears in your earlobe. And this is something that you're wanting to avoid doing, especially if you're wanting to go to bigger sizes, or if you're wanting to stay at a smaller size and possibly size down later. The next method I'm going to be talking about is tapes. Using tape, or the tape method, or however you want to put it. There are different various kinds of tapes that many people utilize, where they wrap the tape around the jewelry and slowly they expand it every day, changing it to get a little bit bigger and bigger, slowly forcing their ear to stretch as time goes by. The tape method is a method that can work and has worked for many people. However, once again, it is not a method that I suggest. There's a possibility of you going too thick with the tape and then you're just dead stretching, and then on top of that, there are no actual tapes that are very well suited to this. You could possibly use bonding tape or any non-adhesive tapes. However, these body tapes and things like that are not directly manufactured for use within the body, rather on top of or around the body, and so it is not good for this tape to be going into the tissue that you have on the inside of your piercing. The next method is taper, the taper method. So we use these tapering pins to slowly stretch your ears up as we go along. Now this is for me the best method and my favorite method. However, it is suggested to not just go to anybody who you think can do this for you. Make sure that you research your piercers first. Make sure you know that they have a lot of experience with stretching ears. Look into some of the ears that they've stretched. As I've said before many a time, make sure you research your piercer properly and see that their clients don't have lots of blowouts and tears and things like that. And that'll help you just put your mind at ease and know that you're going to someone who is going to be able to do it properly. You can buy these kits online. Don't do it. You can shove grass in there, which is a lot of the more traditional method. Don't do it. These are going to cause you tears because you don't know what you're doing when you're stretching that earlobe up. You don't know what feelings to be looking for, and this is often how people end up with tears and blowouts. So best to avoid it. Get a professional who knows what they're doing to do it for you, and you'll come out with really cool ears. Another method is the weight method. It's similar to what I'm doing currently. That is wearing heavy jewelry that will pull your piercing, your lobe down, However, once again, not necessarily something I would suggest doing often. I more do it for a look than actually to size up per se. And this is due to the fact that, once again, as you can see with my earlobes, it is pulling them down rather than stretching them out and expanding the hole. So it's pulling them down, it's creating a weirder shape on the earlobe. And if you use this method to stretch, you will eventually also, once again, start ending up with thinner tissue at the bottom of your earlobes, which then can cause tears. And that's where you have to go and get your earlobes sewn up, and that's not something you want to be going through when you're trying to stretch your ears up, is having to start again, and now with a sewn up earlobe. So something that people do and don't realize about this body modification is it is a permanent body modification. The reason I say that is because once you've stretched your ears to a certain point, you will not be able to stretch them down. And that is not a very big point. Granted, it is going to be different with many people, so generally from what I understand, it's up to about an 8 to a 10. You'll be able to resize yourself all the way back down to about a 1.6 size bar. Now, these holes will never properly close again because you're pushing so much collagen and skin cell to that area to heal the space. It tends to stay bigger. Once you get past the 10 mil mark, it is going to vary from person to person, as well as the size that you're going to go to what size you're going to be able to get it down to. But the point being is that this is a permanent body modification, and this is going to ensure that your ears are not going to be able to go back to exactly how they were when you had no piercings there. So keep that in mind. It is a big step that you are taking, but well worth it. Next, we're going to be talking about blowouts and tearing. So first we've got blowouts, which is essentially where the skin starts leaking out the front and the back of the ear, at the hole at least, and it don't look so pretty. And it's also going to cause you a lot of complications with regards to sizing up further, and it is quite a difficult procedure to actually rectify and ensure that your ears are looking good and healthy again. Next is micro tearing. Micro tears, as the name suggests, is microscopic tears in the stretched earlobe. And essentially what can happen with these micro tears is that they can turn into tears, which in turn then can become a tear in the actual earlobe and end up tearing your earlobes open completely. And this is now a plastic surgery procedure that you need to undergo, which will hurt your ears, it will hurt you on healing, it will hurt your chances of gauging your ears up again, it will also hurt your wallet. So it is definitely something you're wanting to avoid. These are very easy to avoid if you ensure that you're using the right methods and that you are visiting a piercer who knows what they are doing and is able to stretch ears and has a success rate with stretching ears. Another thing that you're wanting to do is ensure that while you are having your ear stretched up, you keep your piercer in the loop with how you're feeling, what feelings you are feeling in your earlobe, and slowly but surely you'll start to come to realize the feelings that are supposed to be there and the ones that are not, and the ones that you need to tell your piercer to stop, that you can stop and size down again, let your ear heal up and try again when it's a little bit more safe to do so. If there is blood, you need to stop immediately, size back to the previous size that you walked in with, and go home, let that heal up for about a month and a half, and then try again. This is a long and tedious process. You've got to be patient. It is like growing out a samurai braid or something like that. It is not just something that you can get in a weekend and then walk around with 40 more tunnels. It's something that you have to work up to slowly but surely. The methods that you can use to make your life a little bit easier: at night when you're chilling at home, take some coconut oil and just massage your earlobes nicely. Clean them off because oils can gather bacteria and hold bacteria, so you need to clean them off nicely before you pop the jewelry back in. Again, research your piercer. Make sure that you've got a piercer who knows what they're doing. Don't do this at home. Don't try and do it by yourself. Don't do it with taper kits that you've bought offline. Don't do it with spirals. Don't do it with pieces of grass that you find that are a little bit thicker than your earlobe piercing, and then keep shoving bigger pieces or more pieces of grass in. I've literally heard this story before. Don't go those routes. They tend to lead to blowouts. They tend to lead to tears, and you don't want that. So rather get it done with a professional who's going to help you, especially because this is such a long and tedious process. Get someone who's going to do it properly so that you don't have to start further down the list. It is a long and tedious process due to the fact that also if you're wanting to go to the bigger sizes, when you start looking at like 24, 25 mils upwards, you're going to want to ensure that you are sizing down and then sizing back up again. Ensure that you are sizing down because this is going to increase the elasticity and also increase the amount of collagen and blood cells that it is sending to those earlobes. The more you do it, the more elasticity your ears are going to have. However, it is going to take you that much longer. But let your piercer know that you're wanting to gauge your ears up. It'll save you time and save them time, and they'll be able to stretch you just a little bit further. You're generally wanting to go within 2 millimeters maximum increments. That is the largest I would suggest going. Sometimes go 1 mil, 1.5 mils, as that will just make your life a little bit easier as far as the actual stretching process. Please note, it is not a pain-free process. If we have helped you at all, please give us a like, subscribe, a share, a heart, whatever it is, whatever platform you are on. And if you've got any questions relating to tattoos or piercings, drop it down in the comment section or hit me up in the DMs, and I will be sure to get back to that for you. Until then, I will see you for your next gauging on your ears. Stay safe.